The battle for America's space future is heating up on California's Central Coast. While SpaceX moved its headquarters to Texas, seeking friendlier skies, their crucial Vandenberg operations remain caught in a regulatory storm. Just as the company aims to increase its launch capacity from 36 to 50 flights per year, California officials are throwing up roadblocks that could impact national security. At the heart of this controversy lies a clash between environmental concerns and military necessity. Local residents report being scared out of their minds by sonic booms, while Pentagon officials warn of growing threats from China and Russia that demand more launches. Now, a California representative is pressuring the Department of Defense to step in, but not in the way you might expect. Today, we're taking you behind the scenes of this high-stakes showdown between state regulators, the military, and America's leading space company. We'll reveal how a recent 6-4 vote could reshape SpaceX's future on the West Coast, and why the Pentagon's surprising new study might change everything. Hi everyone, welcome back to Elon Musk 24 Hours, your source for the latest SpaceX developments and space industry news. Let's dive right in. The story of SpaceX's struggle in California reads like a modern-day David versus Goliath. Except in this case, Goliath isn't just one giant. It's a complex web of state regulators, environmental concerns, and political battles, all while the shadow of international competition looms large over America's space capabilities. Let's start with what's happening on the ground at Vandenberg Space Force Base. Picture this. A massive Falcon 9 rocket pierces the morning fog, its engines painting the sky with a brilliant orange glow. For SpaceX engineers, it's another successful launch. For local residents in Lompoc and the surrounding communities, it's another day their windows rattle from sonic booms. "We're literally being shaken out of our beds," says one resident, whose story echoes through the halls of local government. These concerns aren't falling on deaf ears. Representative Salud Carbajal of California, whose district includes Vandenberg, has stepped into the fray with a bold move. He's not just asking for change, he's demanding it through the National Defense Authorization Act. His proposal? Implement the same kind of noise mitigation program that's been successful with military aircraft. Think soundproofing for homes, reinforced windows, and other measures that could help communities coexist with their spacefaring neighbors. But here's where the story takes an unexpected turn. While local officials focus on noise complaints, the Pentagon sees something far more concerning on the horizon. Intelligence reports show China and Russia rapidly advancing their space capabilities, with China achieving a record 68 launches in 2024. Every delay in American launch capacity isn't just a scheduling inconvenience, it's a potential gap in national security. The numbers tell a dramatic story. In 2020, Vandenberg saw just one orbital launch. Fast forward to 2024, and that number skyrocketed to 47 launches, with SpaceX responsible for 46 of them. This isn't just growth, it's a transformation of American space capabilities. SpaceX's proposal to increase launches from 36 to 50 per year seemed ambitious enough, but now the Pentagon is thinking bigger, much bigger. In a move that shocked both supporters and critics, the U.S. Air Force, Coast Guard, and FAA announced plans for an environmental impact statement that could pave the way for up to 100 annual launches from Vandenberg. This isn't just about doubling current capacity, it's about creating a new launch paradigm that could reshape America's role in space. The strategy involves reviving SLC-6, a launch pad with its own fascinating history. Once home to Delta IV rockets, this pad could become SpaceX's second West Coast home, supporting both Falcon 9 and the more powerful Falcon Heavy. Picture two launch pads working in harmony, supporting both government and commercial missions, with boosters returning to land like ancient spacecraft from science fiction, either touching down at the base or landing on drone ships at sea. But the California Coastal Commission isn't having it. In a contentious 6-4 vote that sent shockwaves through the aerospace industry, they rejected even the modest increase to 50 launches. Commissioner Dana Botko's words cut deep. SpaceX should be seeking its own permits rather than relying on military classification. The implication was clear. This wasn't just about environmental concerns, it was about politics. SpaceX's response? A lawsuit alleging naked political discrimination? The company argues that commissioners are more focused on Elon Musk's Twitter posts than national security needs. It's a battle that perfectly encapsulates the modern tension between environmental protection, local governance, and national defense. Meanwhile, SpaceX isn't standing still. In 2024, they launched 134 missions, more than all other global entities combined. Their Falcon 9 rockets have become as reliable as commercial airliners, with a success rate that would make any aerospace engineer proud. When you consider that there are approximately 100,000 commercial flights every day worldwide, SpaceX's proposal for 100 annual launches seems modest by comparison. The company's president, Shotwell, reveals another layer to this story. Their initial goal for 2024 was 144 launches, plus 4 makeup launches from 2023. They set these absurdly ambitious goals, as Shotwell puts it, not out of arrogance, but to combat conservatism and risk aversion within the company. It's a strategy that seems to be working. SpaceX is now eyeing 175 to 180 launches for 2025. But perhaps the most fascinating aspect of this controversy is the SEAL experiment. Yes, you read that right. When concerns arose about sonic booms affecting local wildlife, SpaceX was required to conduct what might be the most unusual scientific study in recent memory. Picture this: SEALs wearing headphones, strapped to boards, listening to recorded sonic booms. The result? The SEALs remained remarkably unbothered, even appearing to doze off during the tests. It's a moment of unexpected levity in an otherwise intense debate. The Pentagon isn't taking any chances with public opinion. They've scheduled 3 in-person meetings in Ventura, Santa Barbara, and Lompoc, plus a virtual session to gather community feedback. These aren't just formalities, they're crucial steps in building consensus for what could be the most significant expansion of American launch capabilities in decades. For SpaceX, Vandenberg isn't just another launch site. Located just a 2-hour drive from their Hawthorne headquarters, it's the only U.S. facility capable of launching satellites into polar orbit without flying over populated areas. This unique capability makes it irreplaceable for certain military and surveillance missions that become more critical by the day as international tensions rise. Consider this: while we debate launch frequencies and environmental impacts, China and Russia are developing sophisticated anti-satellite weapons. Every delayed launch, every regulatory hurdle, could mean one less satellite in orbit protecting American interests. The California Coastal Commission's decision doesn't just affect SpaceX's bottom line, it ripples through our entire national security infrastructure. Looking at SpaceX's global impact, the numbers are staggering. Of the 259 orbital launch attempts worldwide in 2024, a 177% increase from the previous record, SpaceX accounted for more than half. They dominated Florida's eastern range with 88 out of 93 launches and nearly monopolized Vandenberg with 46 out of 47 launches. Compare this to China's 68 launches, Russia's 17, Japan's 7, India's 5, Iran's 4, Europe's 3, and North Korea's single launch. The stakes couldn't be higher. As Vandenberg's fog rolls in each morning, it brings with it questions that will shape America's future in space. How do we balance environmental protection with national security? Can local communities and space operations coexist? And perhaps most importantly, can America afford to let regulatory battles slow down its space progress while global competitors surge ahead? As the battle between environmental concerns and space innovation continues to unfold at Vandenberg, one thing becomes crystal clear. This isn't just about SpaceX or California politics. It's about America's future in space. The Pentagon's bold move to pursue 100 annual launches signals a new era where commercial space operations and national defense are increasingly intertwined. The coming months will be crucial. As public meetings commence and environmental studies progress, your voice matters more than ever. Will California embrace its role in America's space future, or will regulatory hurdles force a reassessment of U.S. space strategy? The answer may shape not just SpaceX's operations, but the entire trajectory of American space leadership. We'll be following this story closely, bringing you updates as they happen. If you want to stay informed about this developing situation and other crucial SpaceX news, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join our growing community of space enthusiasts. Drop a comment below with your thoughts on the balance between environmental protection and space innovation. We'd love to hear your perspective. This is Elon Musk 24 Hours, where we keep you at the forefront of the space revolution. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in our next video. The next evolution of Starship is here. Those words lit up SpaceX's social media on January 2nd, 2025, sending waves through the space community. While the world was still celebrating the new year, SpaceX's teams were already hard at work, installing the critical flight termination system on Booster 14 under the stars of the Texas night sky. This wasn't just another routine upgrade, it was the dawn of Starship 5-2, a complete reimagining of the most powerful rocket ever built. The changes? They're bold. A 25% increase in fuel capacity, next-generation heat shields, sharper aerodynamic surfaces, and for the first time ever, this beast will carry actual payload to space. But what makes Flight 7 truly special isn't just the hardware, it's what it represents. After 6 test flights pushing the boundaries of what's possible, SpaceX is about to attempt something unprecedented, a suborbital flight that will test real-world capabilities critical for future Moon and Mars missions. The stage is set at Starbase. Booster 14 stands ready. Ship 33 awaits its moment. And in the control rooms, SpaceX engineers are preparing for what could be their most ambitious test yet. From the historic first Falcon 9 launch of 2025 just days ago, to this upcoming milestone, we're witnessing history in the making, and you're here for every moment of it. Today on Elon Musk 24 Hours, we're breaking down every upgrade, every modification, and every goal of this groundbreaking mission. Let's dive right in. Look closely at Booster 14 as it stands against the Texas sky, and you'll notice something different. The changes might seem subtle at first: a modified grid fin here, an enhanced thrust vector control there. But they represent years of learning, countless hours of engineering, and 6 test flights worth of data, all culminating in this moment. The story of Flight 7 begins not with the hardware, but with a vision. When SpaceX first unveiled Starship, skeptics called it impossible. Too big, too ambitious, too different from anything that came before. But flight after flight, SpaceX has turned those impossibilities into reality. Now with Flight 7, they're about to push those boundaries even further. Let's break down what makes this launch truly revolutionary. At the heart of Starship Defies 2 lies a complete reimagining of what a spacecraft can be. The forward flaps, those crucial control surfaces that guide Starship through its descent, have been transformed. They're now smaller, sharper, and positioned closer to the vehicle's tip. This isn't just about aesthetics. By moving them away from the heat shield, SpaceX has created a more aerodynamic profile while enhancing their effectiveness during the critical re-entry phase. But the real game changer? It's what's inside. SpaceX has increased the fuel capacity by a staggering 25%. Think about that for a moment. That's not just a minor adjustment, it's a fundamental leap forward in what Starship can achieve. To support this massive increase, they've completely redesigned the fuel feed system. New vacuum-jacketed lines will deliver that extra propellant to upgraded Raptor engines with unprecedented efficiency. The heat shield, always a critical component, has evolved into something extraordinary. The next-generation tiles aren't just stronger, they're backed by a redundant layer that ensures protection even if individual tiles are damaged or lost during flight. This dual-layer approach represents a new philosophy in spacecraft design, not just preventing failure, but embracing resilience. Here's where things get really interesting. Flight 7 will carry actual payload for the first time, 10 Starlink satellite simulators. These aren't just dummy weights. They're carefully designed to match the exact specifications of next-generation Starlink satellites. During the suborbital flight, SpaceX will attempt their first-ever payload deployment from Starship. This isn't just a test, it's a dress rehearsal for the future of satellite deployment. The avionics system has received a massive overhaul. We're talking about new flight computers that pack more processing power than ever before. The integration of Starlink, GNSS, and backup RF communications into a single antenna system isn't just clever engineering. It's a preview of how future spacecraft will stay connected. With over 30 high-definition cameras installed throughout the vehicle, we'll have unprecedented views of